Hey guys, it's Sam here. I'm at the Highway 126 house and we are trying to do the room by room walkthrough. This is the kitchen area. It's the most complicated. It'll take the longest. To start at the top of the card, we are going to do paint, flooring, and the fixtures. There's two fixtures here. Sometimes we add a third, especially above a sink. We're not doing that here. It'll just be these two. So I put an X for paint, an X for floor, and an X for fixtures. On molding, we're going to do the baseboard throughout. It all needs to be replaced. We're changing out all the windows, but we would try to leave most of this window casing and paint it, caulk it, clean it up. It'll look better. On walls, you can see on this side there was a wall heater there. I would just make a little note that we're going to do a sheetrock patch there, and we'll patch blend that back in. And we'll end up doing a little bit more sheetrock in spots kind of behind where the camera is, and even over here in this corner a little bit, where when taking off the baseboard it ripped up a little bit on the wall. So we'll do a little bit of sheetrock patching, so I'll account for that in the wall area. Floors, most of this is fine. We're going to keep taking this up, and we'll be able to see the existing subfloor and hardwood floor a little bit better. But this right here, you can see it's been wet around the kitchen sink for a long time. It's rotten. That's not unusual. I mean, we see that a lot. It's still wet actually right now. So I'm going to budget something to cut out, put in a patch right here. We'll go to the joists and find a secure place to put it. So that's the big picture room. Kitchen specifically, we're going to change the layout a little bit. That was an exterior door. We're going to take the door part out. We'll brick it in, or brick it from the outside, sheetrock it from the inside. So on countertop, this was an island for the cabinets that ran here. We're going to take the island part out, run it all the way down, and then down on that wall to make this room feel more open. So I'll just kind of pick a spot. It doesn't have to be inch perfect. I'm going to budget for 14 feet of cabinet space on that wall, and another 8, so that's 22 feet of cabinet between those two walls, and that counts both upper and lower, so I just put in one number for that. We'd also do the countertop, so the countertop will be the same. I usually take off 2 feet roughly for where you're going to have a stove sitting, so I do 20 for the countertop, and then backsplash I do the countertop length times 1.5, just as a general rule, because you can see where the old countertop sat up to the bottom of the wall cabinet. On this one, it's almost a perfect 12 inches, it looks like. A lot of the time, it'll come up to 18. So I will put in 30 for the tile backsplash number, particularly on the stove side, we're gonna have a lot of that. And then an X for sink, faucet, and appliances, because you'll do all 3 of those. So that's the kitchen. Okay, this is the dining room, same house. Highway 126. We are going to refinish the hardwoods. We're going to paint the walls and change out the light fixture, obviously. Ceiling texture is a big decision in this house, kind of throughout. In this room, we're going to try to skim coat the cracks you see in the plaster. It's not a structural problem, it's just cosmetic. We're going to skim coat it and then paint it. So I might budget a little bit more for painting, but that's it on the ceiling. We're going to keep the trim. I budget, anytime we refinish the hardwood and there's quarter round down like there is here, it's probably hard to see on camera. This is your baseboard, quarter rounds right there. The guys with their sanders will just make a mess out of that quarter round. So I'll budget just to replace the quarter round in any room where we refinish hardwoods. So I put that in the molding. And then on the wall, again, there's a second little sheetrock patch. We'll fill that in, skim it out, probably put an electrical, I guess that's an outlet. I'm not sure what was there originally, but I put a budget a little bit for that sheetrock work. But this room is pretty simple, paint, floor, fixture, quarter round because it's hardwood, and that's it. Into the living room, starts to get a little bit more complicated. It also is more unique to your price point and your area. We are gonna leave this furred down ceiling. There is a plaster ceiling above it, but it's in poor shape. We're actually going to try to replace this in a bedroom, and if it goes really smoothly, we consider doing it in here. But we're probably going to leave it, paint it. We will try to add a fixture. So we do a fixture drop in here, and then paint floor, quarter round. If we can get the fixture add, I'd budget a little bit extra to get the wire to it, and that would be it in here. And again, we've got a miscellaneous sheetrock patch. So That is dining room into the living room. I'm not going to budget anything extra to do something fancy with the chimney, but that's the type of thing, I'm sorry, the fireplace area, that's the type of thing that Andy might look at and say, man, we could do something to that and make it look good, and we'll add that in as an extra or use contingency dollars for it. But that's the living room. Okay, this is the foyer. As you walk in, there's 2 entry doors in. I'm not going to worry about those right now. They'd be part of my kind of exterior budget on the other side of the card. We're going to paint. We'll work on the ceiling. You can see there is a chimney. You guys wouldn't know from the inside, but there's a chimney kind of right tucked back in there. Not at all unusual. It's not unusual to get leaks around a chimney. The flashing will go bad. So we're going to update that chimney flashing, and we will cut out where the plaster has bubbled or dropped a little bit, and we'll patch it back in, and then again skim coat, paint this ceiling area. So paint, a little bit of ceiling work. We'll refinish the floors. We're going to have to take this patch up, get hardwood floors back down there to match what's existing, and we'll replace the quarter round. Again, we'll do a little bit of sheetrock work over here. That's where another old wall heater was, but that's the foyer area, and it leads right into this hallway. Hallway's the same thing. These rooms are a lot simpler than the kitchen and the bathroom. It's paint, floor, fixture, quarter round. There's actually 2 fixtures in the hallway. There's a second one as you walk down and around the corner. We're going to do all the interior doors throughout, so just assume if you see an interior door, we are replacing that on this particular house. But we'll jump into a bedroom next. Okay, this is the master bedroom. It gets a little bit more complicated here than it does in the other bedrooms. Paint, yes. Floors, yes. We finished the hardwood. We are going to actually take the paneling off and sheetrock this room. We don't do that a lot of the time, but we know our price point and we know our area. This is a higher price point house. The rest of the house is plaster and sheetrock. This is the only room that would be paneled, and it's the master bedroom. So we'll take the paneling off. There is plaster behind it. I don't know what condition it's going to be in, so I'm budgeting to sheetrock it. Then we get into this. Obviously, it's a little bit more complicated. This is the chimney that was, fireplace chimney that was causing the leak. You remember on the other side that's in the foyer. So we are going to either leave this exposed and let Annie do something with it, or we'll sheetrock it in when we do the rest of the room. On the flooring, honestly, we're gonna try to take a little bit of this up. We took up the tile that was on it. If we can get it a little bit lower, then we'll be able to do hardwood across. If not, then we'll do like a backer board and do a decorative tile. But I'll budget something for that flooring area. This is the ceiling where we're gonna take down this this little bit of drop ceiling tile and take down the furring strips, and then see what the plaster looks like. You can see here it's not in great shape. I'd budget just to sheetrock this ceiling, and if this goes really smoothly, we'd consider bleeding that into the rest of the house. Walls, paint, floor, fixtures, and quarter round because it's hardwood. So that's the master bedroom. Okay, this is bedroom 2. Master bedroom's on that side. The bathroom, the other 2 bedrooms are on that side. So similar plan here, paint, floor, 1 fixture, replace the quarter round because it's hardwood. We also have this patch again in the hardwood. We'll pull that up. We'll budget a little bit more. Like I'll probably do a 1.5 or more on the hardwood, because what the guys will do is not only buy new hardwood to lay in here to sand down and refinish, but they'll piece it together. So they'll take one piece to here, the next piece to here, the next piece to there. They'll blend it in on this side so that it's not a straight line. I want it to look aesthetically pleasing when they're done with the hardwood patch. And I'll put a little bit in for the wall heater patch on the sheetrock on the wall. But other than that, there's just the ceiling. And ceiling, again, there's a chimney exhaust that goes up right there. And you can see where it's gotten a leak around it over time, which caused some cracking over time. So we are going to tentatively try to, again, scrape and skim coat the seams. This room I don't expect to look brand new. It's not going to look perfect when we're done with it, but it's the second of 4 bedrooms. It's not in the master, it's not in a major living area, and it'll work for this house and this price point. So we're going to skim coat it, paint it, and we'll sand that down a little bit. This is the bathroom. So bathroom, second most complicated room after the kitchen. in terms of the card. Big picture up top, it is paint, it's flooring. We'll tile this. It's a nicer price point house. So I'll budget for backer board and for tile. So paint, floor, 2 fixtures. We'll have 1 fixture there. We will add a fixture here above the vanity. So that'll be your exhaust fan. This will be your bath light. And then we'll do the baseboard and the quarter round. So I'd budget for both of those in the molding area. We're missing our tub and surround entirely. We'll need a new commode. We'll do a new vanity. We'll go ahead and get the size of it here, and that'll affect the design a little bit. But for a budgeting perspective, even though the price has changed greatly, I'm not going to try to get a specific size and budget for that size. I'm just going to do a standard vanity. It way simplifies the process from my end. And big picture wise, the dollars aren't that much of a difference. The other thing I would do in a bathroom is go ahead and budget to sheetrock, because when they take the tub and surround out, they make a mess out of that wall. Behind the commode is already a mess. And we're gonna have to keep going with this. I mean, we can't paint that. We can't, we're gonna have to basically cut all this out up to, my chest height, waist high. And so then it would just be an awkward joint all the way around the room. We'll take all the sheetrock, all the plaster down, and put up MR board specifically in the bathroom. It's usually the only room that we totally sheetrock, just as a standard rule. We're doing the master bedroom here as well, but budget for sheetrock in the bathroom. Okay, this is bedroom 3. Same thing, paint, floor, 1 fixture, quarter round, budget a little bit to fix where they just screwed a piece of paneling over an old wall heater. We're doing both the entry doors, and there's a ceiling patch directly above the camera that you can't see, but is real comparable to what we've done in the other rooms. So we will budget a little bit to skim coat that and paint it as well. That's bedroom 3. Okay guys, this is bedroom 4. Same thing, paint, floor, 1 fixture, a little bit of sheetrock work. There's a hole where the doorknob didn't have a stop and punched a hole in the door. There's a little bit of patching and skim work over here. I think we said quarter round because it's hardwood, but other than that, it's your standard bedroom with 2 entry doors.